The sun cast golden rays over the forest as the Buddha and his disciples settled beneath the ancient Bodhi tree. The serene atmosphere resonated with tranquility, inviting introspection and understanding. The Buddha addressed the gathering, his voice calm and steady. Let us explore the root of true confidence together. Among the disciples, a young man named Rahula shifted uneasily, his gaze cast downward. Ajahn, unable to contain his emotions, voiced his pain with trembling words. Blessed One, I carry regret for the harm I have caused, and it consumes me. Master, I feel inadequate, my failures overshadow my strengths, and I cannot find confidence within myself. The Buddha smiled gently, his expression compassionate. Rahula, confidence is not born from flawless actions. This is the root of unnecessary suffering. A gentle breeze carried the scent of blooming flowers, adding softness to the solemn moment shared. Do you see this stream, Rahula? It flows naturally, following its course without hesitation. Rahula nodded, curiosity stirring in his heart. The Buddha continued, the stream does not aspire to be a mountain or a tree. It is content as water. Similarly, the Buddha explained, confidence arises when we accept our essence, recognizing our unique qualities and roles in this universe. The disciples listened intently, their attention captivated by the Buddha's words. Each reflected on their own struggles and aspirations. The Buddha then invited Rahula and the disciples to walk with him, guiding them along the stream's path. It carries the pebble yet transforms its presence. Ajahn observed the ripples dissipating, their movement calm and final, as though offering solace. As they walked, the Buddha recounted a story from his own life, sharing his struggles during the early days of his enlightenment. I, too, faced doubts, he confessed. Leaving my princely life, I often questioned my path and capabilities. His honesty resonated with the disciples, reminding them that even the enlightened one faced challenges. The Buddha paused, allowing the weight of his words to sink in. Confidence, he emphasized, does not mean the absence of fear or failure. It is the courage to move forward despite them. They reached a clearing where the stream pooled into a tranquil pond. The Buddha sat beside it, inviting the disciples to join him. The stillness of the pond mirrored the calm in their hearts as they awaited his next teaching. The Buddha picked up a pebble and held it before the disciples. This pebble is small, yet it plays its part in the vastness of nature. He placed the pebble into the pond, watching ripples spread outward. Each of us, like this pebble, has an impact. Embracing this truth fosters inner confidence. The disciples pondered his words, their understanding deepening. If your intent seeks to mend and to grow, the burden lessens. Though the steps are steady and deliberate, Buddha reached into a small bag and withdrew seeds, scattering them over the earth in front of him. Confidence is not an external possession. It is a reflection of inner harmony and self-acceptance. Let go of comparisons, he advised. Release the burden of perfection. Your worth lies in being true to yourself. Nothing more. The disciples nodded, their spirits uplifted by the Buddha's wisdom. They recognized that their struggles were shared and their potential limitless. As evening fell, the group continued their journey, the lessons echoing within them. Release the judgments that chain you, step by step, until freedom takes flight like the bird. The disciples reflected, their thoughts mingling with Ajahn's in the shared pursuit of inner peace. Rahula spoke with newfound conviction, his voice steady. Master, I see now. Confidence begins with self-acceptance and grows through understanding and perseverance. The Buddha smiled, his eyes filled with pride and compassion. Indeed, Rahula, you have taken the first step towards discovering your true confidence. They sat together in silence, the night enveloping them in its serene embrace. The stream's gentle murmur served as a reminder of the journey they all shared. The lessons of the day resonated deeply, leaving an indelible mark on their hearts. The Buddha's teachings would guide them through life's challenges, illuminating the path to inner confidence. The disciples bowed in gratitude, their spirits united by the wisdom they had received. The journey continued, with each step bringing them closer to understanding and harmony. The sun painted golden streaks across the sky, heralding a calm morning. Disciples arrived silently, each bearing questions that stirred their hearts. Among them, Ajahn walked slower, his steps marked with thoughtful hesitation. A villager hurried toward them, tears falling as his voice broke the tranquility. The sun rose slowly, casting its warm glow over the landscape, heralding a day of reflection and wisdom. The Buddha spoke, his voice steady. Today, we will explore the trials that shape confidence and the wisdom they reveal. A young farmer approached the gathering, his hands trembling with hesitation, his face lined with worry. "Master," he said softly, "I have lost faith in myself. Every failure pulls me further into doubt and despair." The Buddha observed the farmer carefully, his expression compassionate and serene, radiating calmness. "Failure is not the end," he began. "It is a moment that offers reflection, a chance to grow stronger within." He beckoned the farmer to sit and addressed the disciples as well. "Let us all listen and learn together from this trial." The Buddha reached for a bundle of grain near the farmer and held it in his hands. "Each grain starts as a seed," he explained. "Small, fragile, full of potential. It does not sprout instantly." He scattered a few grains onto the soil and covered them lightly, his movements deliberate and reverent. The seed faces challenges, harsh winds, dry soil, unrelenting sun, yet it perseveres, seeking its way to grow. The disciples watched intently, the metaphor resonating deeply within their hearts. The farmer, too, leaned closer, curiosity softening his despair. "Do not fear failure," the Buddha continued. "Instead, see it as the wind shaping the tree's resilience to grow taller." The farmer's gaze shifted as he absorbed the Buddha's words, a glimmer of hope flickering in his tired eyes. The Buddha then turned to the disciples and said, "Recall your own trials, those moments when you doubted your path or your abilities." Ananda, sitting nearby, spoke up hesitantly, "Master, I once attempted to teach, but I faltered. My words failed to inspire, and I lost my courage." The Buddha nodded understandingly, his calm gaze steady on Ananda. "Ananda, you feared the outcome, forgetting the sincerity of your effort. True confidence grows when effort aligns with purpose." He gestured to the farmer, inviting him to share his own experiences. The farmer hesitated before speaking. "I have faced many losses. Each failure made me question if I was capable of providing for my family." The Buddha replied, "Your family does not measure your worth by your success alone. They cherish the love and effort you offer." He continued, "Confidence is not built on perfection. It is nourished through perseverance, through aligning our actions with our truest intentions." The disciples nodded, their understanding deepened by the Buddha's profound words. Each reflected on their struggles with newfound perspective. The Buddha stood and guided the group to a nearby field where farmers were tending to their crops. "Observe," he said, "how they work tirelessly, each task a step in their journey, regardless of challenges they face." One farmer stumbled while lifting a heavy load, but he quickly steadied himself, his determination unwavering. The Buddha pointed to this moment and said, "Resilience shapes confidence. It is not about avoiding setbacks but embracing them as lessons." He picked up a handful of soil, letting it sift through his fingers. The disciples nodded, their understanding deepened by the interplay of metaphor and tangible reality. Ajahn felt his heart lift slightly, his grip on his own past mistakes loosening one thread at a time. The Buddha continued, "Confidence is not the absence of difficulty. It is the strength found in the face of it." He spoke directly to the farmer, his voice filled with encouragement. "Embrace each failure as a step toward understanding. As a vital part of your journey." The farmer bowed deeply, his heart lighter with a newfound sense of purpose and determination. The Buddha led the group back to the shade of a great tree, its branches spreading wide like a protective canopy. Under its shelter, the disciples meditated on the lessons of the day, letting the Buddha's words guide their thoughts. The serene silence was broken only by the rustling leaves and the soft whispers of the breeze. The Buddha addressed them once more, his tone both gentle and resolute. "Blessed One, your words move me, yet I struggle with forgiving myself fully. My past lingers heavily still. Seek not to avoid these moments," he advised, "but to understand them, to find the wisdom they offer, to grow stronger within." As the day drew to a close, the disciples shared their reflections, each expressing their gratitude for the Buddha's teachings. The farmer, his voice steady and strong, said, "Master, I now see that each failure has prepared me for this moment, for the strength to move forward." The Buddha smiled, his eyes filled with pride and compassion. "You have discovered a truth within yourself. Carry it forward as a source of confidence and light." The day continued, its lessons lingering in the minds of those present, shaping their thoughts and paths forward. Buddha remained beneath the Bodhi tree, his presence enduring as a beacon of timeless compassion. Another day, another sunrise bathed the monastery gardens in soft light, awakening the world to its daily renewal. Buddha sat beneath the Bodhi tree, his aura serene, his presence unwavering as disciples gathered with quiet anticipation. Ajahn approached with steadier steps, though traces of his inner conflict remained etched on his face. Buddha's gaze settled upon him, sensing both progress and hesitation within Ajahn's soul. Another day, the disciples gathered under a vibrant canopy of leaves, their spirits attuned to the wisdom of the Buddha. The morning air was cool, carrying the scents of blooming flowers and the subtle murmur of a nearby stream. The Buddha addressed the assembly with a gentle smile. "Today, we shall delve into the harmony that nurtures true confidence." A woman from the village approached, timidly, her face reflecting both curiosity and unease. "Great teacher," she began, "I struggle to find balance in my duties and desires. My heart torn between obligations and aspirations." The Buddha listened intently, his compassionate gaze steady upon her. "Balance is the foundation of harmony," he replied, "and harmony is the fertile ground where confidence flourishes." He gestured to a tree nearby, its branches laden with fruit, bending gracefully yet unbroken. "This tree bears fruit because it is rooted firmly while reaching skyward. It embodies balance and purpose." The woman and the disciples observed the tree, their minds engaging with the metaphor's depth. The Buddha continued, "Confidence is like this tree, rooted in understanding and nourished by harmony between mind, heart, and actions." He invited the woman to sit with the group and turned his attention to the disciples. "Tell me," he said, "how do you seek balance in your lives?" One disciple, Sutta, spoke hesitantly. "Master, I devote myself entirely to my studies, but I neglect my health and relationships. This leaves me feeling incomplete." The Buddha nodded, his expression both kind and thoughtful. Sutta, overindulgence in one aspect blinds us to others, fracturing the harmony that sustains true confidence. He picked up a bowl and a handful of stones, placing them inside until it overflowed. If the bowl is overfilled with stones, there is no room for water, no balance. True confidence, he emphasized, arises when our lives, like this bowl, hold the proper proportions of all we hold dear. The disciples reflected on his words, their minds wandering through their own imbalances and aspirations for harmony. The Buddha continued, "Consider the stream nearby. It flows naturally, unhurried, finding its path without forcing or faltering, adapting to obstacles gracefully." He led the group to the stream, its soft gurgling providing a soothing soundtrack to his teachings. "Do you see?" he asked. "The stream is confident in its journey because it does not resist its nature. It embraces both flow and stillness." He cupped water in his hands, allowing it to seep through his fingers back into the stream. "Let your confidence be like this water, resilient, adaptive, and in harmony with its surroundings." The woman, touched by the clarity of the lesson, spoke again, her voice filled with newfound understanding. "Master, I see now. My inner turmoil stems from resisting my nature, from not aligning my actions with my true self." The Buddha smiled warmly, his eyes alight with encouragement. Awareness is the first step toward harmony, the seed from which self-confidence grows. He guided the group to a clearing where the villagers had gathered for their daily tasks, each person contributing in their unique way. "Observe," he said, "how the villagers work together, each fulfilling their role, creating harmony within their community. A carpenter shaped wood with precision, a farmer tilled the soil, and children carried water with joyful enthusiasm." The Buddha continued, "Confidence is strengthened by harmony with others, by recognizing our place within the larger whole, contributing with sincerity." He addressed the disciples and the woman, his tone both firm and gentle. "Seek not isolation in your pursuits. Confidence is nurtured by connections, by the harmony of shared purpose and understanding." As the day wore on, the group returned to the shade of the great tree, their hearts brimming with insights. The Buddha spoke once more, his words resonating deeply. "Harmony is not a distant goal but a daily practice, a commitment to balance and alignment in all things." He encouraged them to meditate, to reflect on the harmony within themselves and the world around them. The stillness of the moment was profound, each individual attuned to the teachings, their hearts and minds quiet yet alive. The woman, her eyes bright with realization, said, "Master, I feel as though a burden has been lifted. I understand now how harmony nurtures confidence." The Buddha nodded, his gaze filled with warmth. The merchant lowered his gaze, his voice trembling as he said, "Blessed One, my mind often fixates on failures of the past, preventing me from moving forward. What shall I do?" The Buddha gestured toward a fallen mango, its surface bruised, yet its essence unchanged. "This mango, though bruised, still carries sweetness within its flesh, untouched by the imperfections of its skin." He handed the mango to the merchant, saying, "Taste it, dear one, and tell me what you find." The group dispersed, each person carrying forward the lessons of the day, ready to embrace life with newfound confidence. The journey continued, weaving together the threads of balance, understanding, and connection into the fabric of their lives. The disciples, too, rose, their spirits lifted by the light of understanding, their hearts united in the shared journey of awakening. The forest held its peace, cradling the energy of transformation, a sanctuary of wisdom and truth. Thank you for watching. Buddha's teachings are always with you. Subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next video.